some big updates with my YouTube channel. We're going to go over that, where my channel will be in 2022 this year, and also the uranium markets. We're going to give you some updates on that. Inflation news around the world has made the markets very volatile. We'll talk about that and what it means for uranium stocks in general. They are open in Australia right now. We'll go over those. Please hit that like and subscribe button below if you're not already. We have 13,000 subscribers in the last 2 years. I want to thank you so much for that. And I want to tell you where my channel is exactly going this year. You know, I don't pump out videos, multiple videos per day like a lot of YouTubers out there. Nothing against that, but I want to keep my channel with good content, stocks that I really believe in, sectors that I believe in. And you know, I never get paid to promote a stock or a sector. I don't ever have, you know, CEOs and interviews on here that are pumping stocks. I don't do these interviews. Now, I've been asked many times to do that. My channel won't be that way in the future ever. I want this channel to be focused on stocks, investing, and I want to keep the content related to things that I really believe in and that I can really support. The uranium documentary you guys have been wanting, I'm going to get that out. Also, you know, other stock documentaries, that seems to be something that you guys really like, so I'm going to really be pushing on all that. You know, very interesting stuff that even non-investors could enjoy. So my goal on this channel overall, I want to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm going to start to push out a lot better high quality content. Now, remember, I don't sell courses. I'm not trying to tell people what to buy or sell. There's a lot of people out there now doing that, and it's unfortunate. Now, I will never do that. The only thing that I have is a Discord, and this Discord actually has 2 years worth of my data, and it's a place, it's a community of investors that there's live updates for the overall stock market, especially uranium around the world, that I've built with bots that bring in information, and we have that information 2 years plus, that it's easy to search, there's no ads, and you know, there's a lot of great people there, and that's really what I've built. So my channel will continue to be real. There's going to be a lot of fun content on not just uranium, but the overall stock market. The overall uranium sector now today, 17th. Really the reason of this is I think people are worried. Now, obviously the stock market in the US started to recover, and some uranium stocks did, you know, because they're really pegged to that Dow. You know, the Dow was down more than 1%, and then it started recovering today. Everything, if you look at the charts, are really pegged to the overall stock market, and we're at record numbers now. One thing I do see positive though for uranium is everyone's kind of has their eye on this Build Back Better, these EU, you know, including nuclear energy and as green energy, you know, for the overall outlook of budgets, and especially in the US. Now, Senator Manchin, as you know, I've covered him for the past year or so. He's bullish, you know, nuclear power. Now, this article on the Green Bloomberg was pretty bullish for nuclear, and I think it is, you know, what we got to keep our eyes on, because the overall governments around the world, to hit those climate goals, they need nuclear. And Manchin, this was actually on Bloomberg. Manchin actually said that that there's a possibility that there is a path for this, you know, the green goals, the, you know, Build Back Better, because he is big on nuclear. So he is looking to support these tax credits the last 10 years for these nuclear power plants. So this will be pretty big. I think this will be something we got to keep our eyes on, and it's going to be just another positive thing for the uranium sector overall. Inflation is really the big topic this week in the overall markets. Inflation, food prices have gone up. I've talked to people that are farmers that I know, double the prices in the last year for a lot of their materials, and that's not just fertilizer, which has gone down a little bit this last, you know, couple months, but they were up double, so their prices are double. So food prices have went up, and we've seen this spill over into Kazakhstan. Now, Kazakhstan, you know, they had this civil unrest we've talked about on the channel. It's very big for the uranium sector, the world's largest uranium producer, but this is not over. Uranium prices are going to go up because of inflation, even if it's a few dollars, very soon, I believe. But if you look at the inflation rate for Kazakhstan, you can see that they have had some very high inflation rates, and it bounces back up and down. But if you really want to look at this, what's really crazy is when this goes up in Kazakhstan, that's when they had the biggest civil unrest. And we recently had, you know, since that time, the biggest inflation, which is over here, which is close to what, 8.7%. Now, this is, you know, food prices, energy prices gone up, and the US has had record, 40-year inflation, okay? We've seen for the US. So this is huge for the US on this side. And I think that you're going to see inflation numbers in all over the world, especially in smaller countries, go up drastically this year if this number does not go down. What's the only way really that the government can get this number down? It's not by printing. It's by raising the rates, and it's really gonna wreak havoc, I think, on the overall markets if they do that. So inflation numbers either continue to go up and we see this really wreak havoc on the uranium supply worldwide, or the market overall could correct some, and this means uranium stocks, we could see uranium stocks drop very big from where they're at right now if a lot of people sell off, because it's such a small sector. So I am 50% cash now. I will be looking to be long-term in some more new uranium stocks, because I've been going over a lot of stocks for this year, and I think there's a lot of good management out there coming out of the woodworks, but we need the price of uranium to go up. It's very bullish in my opinion, because I think we're in a commodity super cycle, but we got to keep an eye on the overall markets. We still trade in this markets, and I think that inflation numbers, there's nothing really I think that they can do. I think the real inflation numbers over 12 to 14% likely in the US, meaning that we're probably going to see the repercussions come back to places like Kazakhstan. And if this happens, I think there'll be more civil unrest. I think utilities will start contracting, and we're going to start to see this really, wreak havoc on the uranium market. Now, inflation worldwide, we're seeing record numbers. So people are talking about it. This is Google. Over time, last time we saw this, last financial crisis, and then during the last uranium bull market. So we're going to see the same exact things, I think, happen. And we're looking at overall prices now. If you're looking at commodities, energy commodities are hitting records. But uranium is down here. We're still at the lowest out of all these listed here. Coal is up 29% year to date. And granted, this is 16 days and it's already up. I mean, you can just see monthly as well, no matter what these governments are doing, they're trying to drop the prices, send fuel over there, gas. It's not really doing anything about it, I think, long term. So I think really you got to keep an eye on this. You got to keep an eye on inflation. That's the big thing. The overall stock market, what is it going to do to uranium stocks? We've seen very big volatility in the uranium markets. You can see down here, they get very volatile as the market overall corrects. If the market corrects 1 to 2% down, uranium stocks can drop 10%. This is why I gotta push the bearish stuff too. That's the bearish side of uranium, is the fact that it does trade in the overall market. We're at market peaks. They are likely to raise rates, and uranium stocks could suffer. Could be harder for a lot of uranium stocks to get into production. So management is key. Now, if you check out my other videos on uranium, you can see recently I've updated a lot of stuff with the top uranium companies in a tier list. I did go check out that video. It'll be out soon. I have an unbiased decision, and I rank everything all the same, on the same criteria. And I was very surprised on that, what exactly came out, what uranium stocks, how they ranked overall when you put those and you give it, a good judgment. And it's not just because, I've invested in the company before, or I don't like the company, or don't like the management. And it's a very interesting video, so go check that out. And remember, on this channel, like I said, there's going to be a lot of fun, interesting stock content coming out. But I make that promise to you that I'm not going to be selling stock courses. I'm not going to be pushing stocks, talking to CEOs of companies. Majority of the CEOs I do not like of stock companies, because I don't really trust them. And trading 16 years in the market, I've seen this time in and time out, that I just got to follow my gut. And my gut tells me that, overall, the markets now, we could see some extreme volatility, especially in uranium stocks. But I make you all that promise that I'm going to continue to put out good content that I believe in. And, the stock content with the documentaries, I think it's going to be a lot of fun and exciting. So if you guys like this, let me know in the comments below. Do you guys agree with what I just said? And is uranium going to be the commodity of the year in the super cycle?